Is cortisol bad? Let's find out. Maybe you've heard of cortisol and that it's the hormone that causes belly fat and that cortisol is bad. Well, there's really no bad hormones, only hormones that are out of balance. If your cortisol is too high, you'll be very anxious. You won't be able to sleep, your muscles waste away, the lining of your gut thins, you might even lose your hair. And if your cortisol is too low, you're exhausted. You gain weight, usually right around your middle, and you have brain fog. Cortisol has to be just right, in balance with the rest of your hormones. So, what exactly is cortisol? Cortisol is produced by your adrenal glands. It has its own natural circadian rhythm. Cortisol rises as soon as your melatonin drops when the sun comes up, and it peaks between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., sometimes as late as 4 p.m., depending upon whether it's winter or summer. Then in the mid-afternoon, cortisol naturally falls. Animals and humans all experience the natural fall of cortisol, and most feel tired. Now, animals know enough to rest, and some countries actually take a siesta at this time. But here in the United States, we try to work through our cortisol slump by reaching for caffeine and sugar. Cortisol rises a bit before dinner and then peters out within about 3 hours of dark. Now that allows your melatonin to do its job and let you go into a deep sleep. Unless, of course, you don't turn off those lights and you don't go to bed. Cortisol also plays a really big part in your stress response. You see, when you get stressed, whether it's really a tiger chasing you, or you're late for work, or you're worried about some kind of bill, it's the same response. Your nervous system turns on your adrenals, and they produce adrenaline that raises your heart rate and your blood pressure, so you can actually get away from the danger, or fight it. That's called the fight or flight response. Immediately, your hypothalamus, it responds to the surge in adrenaline by telling your pituitary gland to tell your adrenals to make cortisol. Now this is called the HPA axis, or the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Now remember, your hypothalamus is really the boss of your body, the true boss. The pituitary gland is just middle management. The surge in cortisol tells your body to release stored sugar from your muscles and your liver. And now you have enough fuel for either fighting off the danger or running away from it. But what if the danger is not as real as a tiger chasing you? All that sugar floating around in your bloodstream has to go somewhere. So, your body stores it for much later, in your fat cells right around your middle. You were not meant to live under stress for long periods of time. Eventually, you would either be caught by the tiger or outsmart the tiger. But in today's modern world, your hypothalamus is on high alert constantly. It's constantly being stimulated by your overstressed nervous system to get you out of danger. Every time you stress out over anything, your hypothalamus tells your adrenal glands to make more cortisol. And over time, your adrenals get pooped out. That's called adrenal fatigue. You can balance your HPA axis with de-stress breathing. One of the best ways to balance cortisol is to calm down your nervous system. A calm nervous system does not hyperstimulate your hypothalamus. A peaceful and balanced hypothalamus will not continuously turn on your adrenals, and your cortisol production will be blissfully normal. So, how do you calm down your nervous system? By breathing. But you say, I always breathe. Probably not in a calming way. When you're stressed, you tend to breathe much more shallowly. Rapidly, you take in a lot less oxygen and you further stress your hypothalamus. The trick is to learn de-stress breathing. So, Place your hands on your stomach. Now, breathe normally and notice if your hands move much. Probably not. I want you to consciously take a deep breath using your stomach muscles to actually draw in as much air as possible. Notice that your hands have moved out a little bit as your stomach expands. That's good. Breathing super deep like this gives your hypothalamus a lot more oxygen and it calms it down. Now take a really deep de-stress breath with your hands on your stomach, very slowly inhaling for at least 4 seconds, using your stomach muscles to help your lungs. Next, hold your breath for a few seconds. Then, very slowly exhale, taking twice as long as you did to inhale, using your stomach muscles to actually gently push the stale air out of your lungs. Notice how your hands have moved in as your stomach moves in and contracted. Take 3 deep, slow de-stress breaths whenever you feel stressed, and you will immediately calm down. Practice de-stress breathing every day. You will help balance your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and that means normal cortisol production, which means less belly fat and less fatigue. Well, if you want to learn more ways to de-stress and lose that belly fat and control your cortisol production, check out my new course, Hormone Healing, Optimizing Your Adrenal Health. I'll see you in the next video.